Shalom, call Halim La Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And sincere Shalom to the 144,001 Now, just to start this off, straight to it, the Edomites are still here on the planet Earth. Alright, just to prove the point, to set the tone of this video, Obadiah, first chapter, verse 21. And saviors shall come upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh. So Esau, the Edomites are still here, because the kingdom of Yahweh is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, are we in the kingdom of heaven? No. So what does that mean? Esau is still here. Go to Daniel, the second chapter. Alright, straight to the point. Alright, I don't want to be talking. Alright, just yapping, shooting the shit. Just get straight to it. So, this is Daniel 2:44. The divine kingdom. In the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom, alright, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So that's the kingdom of heaven. So guess what? Are we in this? No. Are we in the kingdom of heaven? No. What does that mean? The Edomites are still here. But as it is also written in Obadiah 1 in verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be as a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. So this is genocide, extermination, all right, eradication of a race of people, which is the Edomites. Today we would know them as so-called white people, all right. But of course, Esau, kind of like how we have the wheat and the tares, Esau is scattered amongst our people, as in they look like Israelites. They may look like a Gadite, a Judite, all right, Ephraimite, and you'll have Edomites looking like Hamites and Moabites, but their lineage goes back to Esau. All right. For Yahweh has spoken it. So this is extermination of the so-called white race, which are not white. The red. Edom means red. All right. They were Esau's pigmentation was completely and utterly stripped from him, which goes back to the mark of Cain. All right, which is leprosy, biblical leprosy, which I don't want to go into that topic in this video. I'm gonna just keep it strictly on the judgment of Esau, the cursed nation, the cursed people. Now let's go to now that we set the tone, let's go to Isaiah 34. So everything I'm reading is an end time prophecy on the destruction of you Edomites. So this is Isaiah 34 and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. What is this sword that's being bathed in heaven? Is these ICBM nuclear missiles, which stand for intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is basically just a payload to carry the nuclear warheads. That's all it is. And we've seen Russia, the chief prince, show off the ICBM technology in Ukraine, and it looks like some divine man. I'm go watch the video if you can find it still. Type in Russia shows off ICBMs. They just didn't put the nuclear warheads on them. It looks like some spiritual power, man. That's some spiritual weaponry. That just you gotta watch it to see it, to understand that that is genuinely a sword from the Heavenly Father. All right. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. How is it gonna be bathed in heaven? All right. It flies up really high in the sky for it's moving at what, tens and thousands of miles an hour. It's flying tens and thousands of miles in the sky. That's how it's being bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness. It's going into sacrifice here. With the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for Yahweh has sacrificed in Bozrah. So it's not just going to be Edomites getting sacrificed. It's going to be Jakes and these other nations. 2/3 of the Israelites and you Edomites are the three classifications of men. All right, the water to the elders and apostles, great millstone that broke that down. The sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites, the sons of the righteous, which are the Israelites, and the sons of men, which are the heathen, or the rest of the heathen, because Esau is still the heathen, but they're a special type of heathen, the wicked. And upon the people of my curse, the judgment, the people of the curse, are the Edomites. All right, I think I already read that verse 5, and then I reread verse 5, and then um, verse 6. I'm going to reread verse 6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, which is going into the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great. How do we know this? Because this destruction is described again, exact same format, and Jeremiah when it's referring to Babylon the Great, which I'll go into. Okay. Verse 9. And the stream thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. What? Because these all these millions and millions of nukes raining down on this place, burning it. It's going to be like a magma, liquefied elements, liquefied rock, liquefied everything. It's going to be the what is it in Revelations? Let's go to it actually. Let me grab that. Uh, Revelations 20 and 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So the first death was a flood. The second death is going to be this ICBM destruction here in Babylon the Great, and of course wherever else these nukes are landing. But in this specific verse, is talking about the lake of fire, which is Babylon the Great burning. That's what John the Revelator was being shown is America, which is the lower 48 states, Alaska and Hawaii. That's America. That's Babylon the Great. Now, yeah, you got Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands and American Samoa and all that, but that's not really part of Babylon the Great all the way. You know, they don't have a constitution. You know, they're not fully integrated with Babylon the Great. So we really don't know if they're gonna get nuked too. But as we know, in what's a part of Babylon the Great is the 50 states, the lower 48. Then you got Alaska and Hawaii. All right, for sure those are gonna get obliterated, nuked. Okay, well, let's go back. Um, Let me see. So this Isaiah 34 in verse 10. And it shall not be quenched, night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it in a line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. All right. So, verse 14. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. So it's going into all these different creatures that's gonna lay waste in Babylon the Great once the destruction's settled, the smoke's cleared up. So it's gonna be a big old wasteland. Of course, there's still gonna be animals and some type of vegetation, but it's gonna be uninhabited for humans. You know, there's just gonna be animals in there shooting the shit, whatever animals do, right? Kill, eat, torture each other, whatever the animals do, right? That's what's gonna go on here in Babylon the Great. It's not gonna be Israelites or heathens dwelling here. Now let's get I'm gonna just type in owl, and it should go to where I want it to. In Jeremiah, it should pop up. No. Now let me type. It was an owl. I'm gonna type in pitch tint. That should do it right there. Nope. Well, this is talking about Babylon the Great here in Isaiah 13, so that's cool. But I'm gonna try to get Jeremiah too. So this is Isaiah 13. Let me scroll up right here, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, Russia, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows, these ICBMs, shooting out the silos, all right, the submarines, the warships from Moscow. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, all right. So this is talking about who? The daughter of Babylon, all right, which is America. The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So this is going into what we just read, Isaiah 34. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. So this is exactly what we just read in Isaiah 34. But instead of it being Edom, is Babylon. Why? Because Esau is an authority and controls Babylon, which is directly mentioned in Psalms 137. Verse 22. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So this is exactly what we just read in Isaiah 34. So let's go to Psalms 37 and Psalms 37, 137, to where it directly lines up Esau with Babylon the Great. So this is Psalms 137 and verse 4. Actually, verse 5. Verse Psalms 137 and 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. And raise it means to destroy. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So you Edomites are directly lined up with Babylon the Great, and your little ones are going to be dashed against the stones. Why? Because what did you do to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Americas? And you see Esau, I was watching this video of Esau talking about a race war with so-called blacks, and he completely overlooked and disregarded the evil so-called whites did to so-called blacks, and then he tried to claim that so-called whites helped people and that they're not evil. So, and you can tell he looked a little, his body language, was a little off during that whole ordeal with the so-called whites being evil. His body language, because Esau knows he's wicked, man. Esau knows that he's totally off the center line, if you will, off his rocker, and because they haven't been judged for their evil, they think that they can continue to be evil and deny the villain victim. Right there, that's the role they play, is the villain victim. It's not going to work anymore. All right, because it's been successful. Only reason why it's been successful because you have power, but your power is going to slip out of your hands. Why? Because Heavenly Father is going to raise up His elect. Now let's get Jeremiah 49. So it says right here at the top, prophecy against Edom, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador sent to the heathen, saying, "Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle." So this is Yahweh directly saying that He's going to gather the nations to come up and jump the Edomites. For lo, I will make thee small among the among the heathen, and despised among men. So as we read, the Edomites are still here. So this is end time prophecy. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, right? Because Esau had what is it, gunpowder and the little metal balls, black guns, right? Semi-auto, full-auto machine guns, and all this other weaponry and fighter jets and all this. So Esau, he's full of pride because he has this high-level technology to kill people, and then of course the needle and the kill. You know what? You do in basketball to make a to score a point, right? To kill that, right? So this is Esau's doing. This is the so-called white man to a T. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. So there you go. Verse 18, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So this is Esau again, of dwelling being co-aligned with Babylon the Great. All right, and as we know, Babylon the Great is the United States of America, ran and fully set into its order by the Edomites. Okay, which we just read, the Edomites are connected to the daughter of Babylon. There's no way around it. And Esau was given authority to control the earth. The only two nations given the authority to control the earth are the Israelites and the Edomites, man. So is the so-called white man not controlling the earth? What is the global reserve currency? Whose face is on the global reserve currency? Who has the strongest military on the earth? Who has subjugated the nations? All right, let's get this. This is Genesis 27 and verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from out the neck. So has the so-called white man not ruled with the sword? Yes or no? Is the so-called white man doesn't have the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven? He has countries in Australia, Latin America, Babylon the Great, Canada, Europe, all right, countries in Russia, Australia, New Zealand, all these, those aren't Edomite lands. But guess what? He has the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven. Do you see so-called Chinese living in all? No. Do you see so-called Hispanics? No. So what is? So you Edomites can't get around end time prophecy, bro. You ain't getting around end time prophecy, and your judgment is slavery, right? That's your judgment. We just read that in Obadiah. Slavery and extermination. You're gonna be wiped from the face of the earth because you're wicked. You don't deserve to live in the coming kingdom of heaven, where everything is gonna be in its rightful place. You're gonna be somewhere else. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I don't want to rush this out. It was edifying. Hey, shalom.